Hi everybody, this is Matt Lawton, and this is the Astrological Winds channel, and we are going to look at the astrological weather forecast for the week ahead, starting on this Monday, June 15th. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through Saturday this week instead of Sunday. And the reason being is Sunday is going to be our second eclipse of the eclipse season. And so what I'd like to do is focus next week's forecast mainly on that, and I'll try to get it done a day earlier than normal since that is Sunday. And I think we have enough to look at this week without getting into the eclipse about a week ahead of time in detail. And also, we can take a look at the summer solstice chart set for Washington, D.C. next week and get an idea of what the United States is going to be going through for the next 3 months over this summer. So that'll probably be a lot of information for next week, and I don't want to really bunch it into this week's information. So I'll try to get the blog done a day earlier next week if I can, so that it's right on the day of the eclipse on Sunday. And anyway, this week, of course, as you may well know, if you are into astrology at all, it is going to be the week Mercury goes retrograde for the second time this year. And once again, all the Mercury retrogrades this year are in water signs, where Mercury, being the planet of intellect, doesn't necessarily feel very comfortable in the first place. So adding the fact that it's retrograde can really make it a double whammy, so to speak. And as I've been saying, and I said in the monthly forecast a couple weeks ago for June, we're in a very, very heavy retrograde period now, and Mercury will, push it to the top. At that point, we will have two of the three inner planets, that is Mercury and Venus, both retrograde at the same time for approximately 1 week. Mercury's going retrograde on Thursday, and I believe Venus goes direct next Wednesday or Thursday. So there's about a week period where the two of them are both operating in effect backwards. And so, we've talked about the Venus retrograde a lot. It's about relationships really being tested. Interestingly enough, Venus retrograde in Gemini, which is one of the signs that Mercury actually rules. So now Mercury is going retrograde in Cancer, and this will just add another layer of confusion to our communications, and especially with loved ones and close family. This is where we're going to really see the Mercury retrograde in Cancer energy really make a lot of an effect. So Mercury retrograde obviously always messes with communications, but it's like the family thing is going to be a big part of where a lot of those issues are. And what's apt to happen when Mercury is in Cancer is it has a tendency to fall into past patterns of thinking, which can have an emotional trigger that triggers a certain pattern of thought or thinking. So a lot of our thoughts will be like connected to the past somehow, and a lot of the issues that we have communicating with others, especially family, will be connected to the past somehow. So that's, it's otherwise, I would say, definitely not a good 3 week period to be buying or selling a home. While not only is Mercury retrograde, which can confuse negotiations, but in Cancer, which rules homes, you could be setting yourself up for something that never is quite what you wanted it or imagined it to be when you were initiating the deal. So I would definitely keep away. Obviously, Mercury retrograde, Mercury rules commerce and business too. Like I said, the 3 inner planets rule just about everything we do on our normal everyday basis. So those things will continue to suffer too. I think the, like as far as business and stuff, it's still going to be slow, especially in hospitality and travel type things where normally this time of the year, children getting out of school, summer vacations going on, weddings going on. But I think the conditions of the world right now, a lot of those things are not going to be hitting anywhere near their normal business activity. So like any business that's related to family or hospitality or care, like, daycare, elderly care, all those businesses in a lot of probably stress. Those are types of services that are going to be difficult to try to deal with, and this 3 week period will like apex a lot of that. And once again, even the information going around, like I said, Mercury with Gemini North Node, which Mercury rules, we're really in a period where we're trying to discern what's true and what's not. So like Mercury in Cancer is going to have a tendency to make us like fall back into the past and try to find the truth in the way things have been, to try to find some comfort there. And, unfortunately, with Mercury retrograde, that can be a misleading direction ultimately. But, it's, this is where we're going to be at. It will be retrograde through July 12th, I believe. So once again, if you got any projects or anything going, you want to try to get them going before Wednesday, Thursday this week, where they will be starting during a Mercury retrograde period and are likely to give you very different results than what you were hoping to get. Okay, and so, there's some, so here's like 2 of the 3 inner planets going retrograde this week, which, I'm kind of chuckling about, but it like really shows how the things we normally expect to be working normally in the world are not really doing that right now. But Mars, which, was having some trouble last week, we talked about Mars a lot, conjunct Neptune, and, probably still a little bit in effect even right now, the Mars-Neptune energy, but it's going to do a good positive shift for us this week. And fortunately, that's the other one personal planet that won't be in that retrograde motion, so we'll be able to move forward. So that's our motivations and our actions and things like that. So Mars is going to have a couple really nice sextiles this week to Pluto and then to Jupiter. So Mars, Pluto will give us opportunities. Like opportunities will come to us. This is like a yin sextile. So we need to look for opportunities that'll come to us where we're able to like, kind of like recognize how it fits in a goal that we have that can bring it to another level. So like really have like some self-understanding and engagement and initiative in things that can lift us up into another level where we can like, find ourselves in a better position of personal power for ourselves. Now, Pluto always requires that what we're doing doesn't only benefit ourselves if you don't want it to go off track. So, but Mars is, can be very individualistic in its energy. And with with Venus and Mercury both retrograde, it's very difficult to have one-on-one relationships working well, or even group relationships working well. But with Mars, we can self-motivate. We don't need necessarily to work with others to push our agenda, to push our objectives. But with the Pluto there, what we do have to make sure of, though, is that the benefits of that are not only for us, but it's for everybody. So despite being individually pushing it, the benefit is for all. So like if we can align with that energy this week, there will be opportunities that come up where we can be personally very effective and powerful, and can almost turn the pages in certain parts of our lives to, a new slate where, we have a better understanding of what's going on, what motivates us, and, what our objective is more clear. And so Mars Pluto can give this incredible amount of energy too. It's like the energy that can just keep going and going and going. It's like long distance energy. It's like like a marathon runner or something, like where you can just put lots of energy. And the cool thing, really, really cool thing about Mars Pluto is when you check off all those boxes, the motivation, the objective, the clear understanding, and the benefit for all, then what you create during that period has very long-lasting effects. So very potent energy that's available this week, and the Mars sextile Jupiter is just going to add to that. In fact, the Mars sextile Jupiter will give us, will counteract a lot of the Mars Neptune from last week and actually give us a physical energy boost that is also very positive for our attitude. So just adjusting an attitude is enough many times to turn the energy back in a benevolent flowing direction. So there's a lot of potential for that. And the thing about the sextiles is it's also easy just to let them go, especially yin. You can just oh, well, you see it and not do anything about it. So, if that's the case, then you could be passing by an opportunity that, if you were motivated to follow it, could be very beneficial in the long run. And the last thing I want to talk about this week is on next Saturday is the summer solstice. So in the northern hemisphere, winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. So the sun is going into Cancer, joining Mercury in Cancer. And once again, what that means is people's focus becomes more on their family, their home, their nation, their heritage, their ancestry. Things like that become important to us. But here's the thing too, the sun in Cancer is kind of a funny thing, it's the emotions become the driver of our will, our motivation, our ego. The human, a lot of people think Cancer is this very human sign because we're such emotional beings. And this is so, but our emotions can also very easily mislead us because we allow them to overwhelm us. And in Cancer, that can easily happen. And so Cancer on this positive side, when it's feeling secure and good, is very loving. But Cancer's love can be conditional. And so when things aren't going well, Cancer can really turn into like this distrusting and manipulative kind of energy, and using emotions to manipulate others. So like, it's important for Cancer to get these basic needs met and to feel like their family and themselves are in a secure position in order to manifest the higher caring and sensitive to others and wanting to help others out. That energy needs to feel secure in order for it to manifest in a positive way. Otherwise, it can fall into the trap of like trying to get more for itself and like, playing like a chess game of manipulating people, and especially with emotions to try to do that. So we're going into that Cancer season now, and like I said, traditionally in the U.S., it's a time when families really get together and they do their family vacation. They kind of drop the work and school, so they kind of close together. But now with this retrograde energy of Mercury and Venus and what's going on in the world, we may see like a lot of stressful energy in that area, and a lot of people not feeling like they're getting the security they need. And with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, that's almost a guarantee that many people are feeling that way. All right, so like I said, real good opportunity this week to use some positive Mars energy, but relationships, communications are really hitting an apex tough point. And like I said earlier, I'll try to get the next blog done a day earlier so it hits exactly on Sunday when we do have the eclipse. And we'll try to talk about that what the U.S. is looking at for the next 3 months, and the solstice chart. Okay, and then the other thing is readings. I'm always available for readings. My email is MattHue, MattHue, 823 at gmail.com. And just someone briefly asked me recently, like, what's the difference between getting a reading from an astrologer and where I can just go online and print this stuff out? And to me, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you can go online and it'll tell you your Mercury in Sagittarius in the 12th house means this, but it's not telling you how all of everything ties into your chart holistically for you on a personal level. Another analogy is you go into a court, you hire a lawyer. You can be your own lawyer. There's plenty of books with lots of information to tell you how to handle that situation, right? Same thing with an astrologer or anyone else who's offering a service that they've been doing. There's things that, you can get as much information as you want. There's information out there, but can you tie it all together and really show what that means for you? So I think that's what an astrologer can do over a computer printout that's 50 pages long, packed with information, much of it in conflict with what you just read on the page before that, because the computer is not holistically putting it together for you. So to me, that would be the advantage of having someone who is an astrologer look at your chart and help you to understand it better. And the only gift we can give you is more self-awareness so that you can make better choices for yourself. All right, until next weekend, this is Matt Lawton signing off on the Astrological Winds channel. Oh, and please, one thing you guys can all do for me, it's a free service I'm offering you. If you know anyone who's into astrology, please share this Astrological Winds channel with them, and you can sign up right on the bottom of the YouTube and always know when a new blog comes up. All right, until next time, Matt Lawton signing off. Peace.